Yo, what's going on, Walten Falls fans? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be explaining one of the most terrifying animatronic or characters in the Walten Falls universe. If you haven't seen already, the Return of the Pumpkin Rabbit, officially Return of the Pumpkin Rabbit, showed us back one of the most creepiest characters in all the Walten Falls universe. And in today's video, we'll be explaining who exactly is the Pumpkin Rabbit, because in this episode, we got some huge lore drops to what this character actually is, who he is, and what he is actually capable of. So without further ado, we're going to dive straight into this. Let me know what you think of the Pumpkin Rabbit in the comments below, and let me know what you think of the new episode in the comments below. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. If you do enjoy, make sure to smash the like button down below. Make sure to subscribe as well if you like the Walten Falls. Let's get straight in to who is the Pumpkin Rabbit. So, the official canon name for the Pumpkin Rabbit is also known as Lorenzo Waterman. We get to know this as we get an official name of the Watermans. As the episode goes on, we eventually find that Dino and our main protagonist also finds this book that we've been teased at many points throughout the entire teasers leading up to this episode. We find out that they are named the Witch Sheep and Pumpkin Rabbit, but also Rachel and Lorenzo Waterman. This is a huge lore drop because it officially characterizes the two characters rather than just a sort of a yellow Bon and a more witch Halloween Shaw. It actually characterizes them to something much more to their own characteristics. Also, we had a redesign from the Pumpkin Rabbit from the Mysterious House 1 to the Mysterious House 2, basically, with the Return of the Pumpkin Rabbit. So we have two completely different designs for the character. Also, Witch Sheep looks way scarier than originally in the original Mysterious House. I think this creature is absolutely terrifying, along with the voice acting has also changed. So the voice actor of actually Ducky in the original Mysterious House episode voices the Pumpkin Rabbit as Ava, and also Crystal, the voice of Sophie Walten, voices Witch Sheep, or, you know, Rachel Waterman. So it's really cool the way how much development and the character arcs that have occurred in this episode. I think it's really cool. I mean, when it comes to the character arcs that did occur, I think it's awesome. The fact that we get a little bit more characteristics of these characters. Again, like how episode 4 done for the mainline series of the Walten Falls, just seeing some different scenes, but also some similar scenes, but just adding a little bit more characteristics to each character, and I absolutely love that. Now, a little bit about the Mysterious House itself. It officially has been known that it officially looks over Nashville Lake, and I think that's awesome. We see this in the opening of the episode as Martin introduces us to the whole story and the dialogue for the introduction of the episode. So it's really cool to hear Martin as well voicing one of the characters, and it's really cool to actually see him as the original voice of the Pumpkin Rabbit to also continuing to voice act within his own series. I think that's really cool. Now we're going to get into the main juicy part of the Pumpkin Rabbit, and that is how powerful this dude actually is, because as you can see in this episode, this character is strong, he is absolutely massive, and he is very similar to Bon in specific ways. As not only does Bon lure people in the original mainline story of the Walten Falls, with example for Rosemary's kill, in this episode and in the Mysterious House, we know that the Pumpkin Rabbit has the ability to mimic, and we see this very clearly in the Mysterious House with him mimicking Ducky, to which he also does in the Mysterious House 2 with basically actually physically showing Ducky and luring one of the kids away to eventually be stuck in the clown room with Witch Sheep, also to be killed off, which is really cool. I also think it's really interesting the fact that this character can teleport, and you're probably wondering, Carl, how on God's name can he teleport? Well, now if you really watch this episode very closely, you can know that the first original kill that the Pumpkin Rabbit actually does, and we can see it to the Batman character, we can also see that during this exact same moment, the character is being lured by Ducky upstairs. So this is basically two apparitions of the Pumpkin Rabbit at the same time. So it's either he can duplicate himself, or he can use the victim of his spirit in order to kind of replicate and sort of, you know, mimic his own actions, but throughout a different, you know, physical form, which is really interesting, really sci-fi in my opinion, but also really creepy. The kind of reminds me how Pennywise can do that with his victims, and I think that's really awesome. Little side note, also we know that the Pumpkin Rabbit's design, I'm pretty sure, is very heavily influenced off Leatherface. I mean, when you see the actual house and also the characteristics of Pumpkin Rabbit, along with his actual just dress sense with the kind of apron and stuff, it is pretty evident that it is some reference to Leatherface, and we do know Martin is a big fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so it makes sense to have some similarities between the two characters. Now, as we do know in this episode as well, the Pumpkin Rabbit is extremely fast. The way this dude moves through a pumpkin patch to kill the first kid in this episode is super creepy. The way he walks with his arms like this, almost like a scarecrow, and the fact that this gives some characteristics characteristics of the pumpkin rabbit of almost him playing with his food, as some say. So I think that's really, really creepy. And we also know that he's very efficient with his attacks of him scraping the eye, as we do see the actual Bond character do the exact same thing in the series to Susan Woodings in her kill, as basically before Susan Woodings gets killed, he immediately gets her head, gets his hands up into her face and scratches her eyes. We see this very clearly, and the pumpkin rabbit also does the same. So I think that's going to be really interesting. I think it's really, really creepy, and overall, by far, the two scariest creatures in the entire universe of the Walten Files is both the pumpkin rabbit and Bond, which is really, really creepy. But that is all we have for who the actual pumpkin rabbit is. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the pumpkin rabbit and what your overall opinion of the episode is. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. But hopefully that gives you some insights on who the pumpkin rabbit is, what his abilities are, and kind of breaks it down for you who might be confused about what he's actually capable of. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like the Walten Files, make sure to smash like button down below. Let me know what your favorite character is in the Walten Files as well. That is the question of today's video. Who is your favorite character? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to smash like button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you like the Walten Files. And I'll check you in the next one. Of course, stay safe and peace. First shot of this episode. Tammy picks this house.
Oh, what about that one?
Now, if you ask me, that is the, worst house you can pick. It has wallpaper on the outside.